Session 1, Topic 6, Terminologies in SAP. So I want to start this topic by sharing one of my experience in the year 2015-16, right around the time when I joined the SAP project for the first time. So I used to hear a lot of these jargons or a lot of these terminologies in the project, but I didn't have any clue or what it is or what it means. Even though I had 10 years of IT industry on performance testing, right, I was new to these terminologies when I joined the project. So I mean, it took me a while to get accustomed to these terminologies and understand the meaning. So I want to make it easy for you. So these are some of the most commonly used terminologies in the SAP world. Okay, so let's start exploring this in this session. Number 1, R3, ECC and S4 HANA. I think I talked about this in the evolution, right? So these are nothing but the older version of SAP product, right? So R3 real time, right? So you know that real time processing. So they named their earlier 3-tier architecture R3. Then from there they moved to the ECC product, which stands for ERP Central Component. And I mean, that was one of the big success story. Then now recently in the year 2015 plus, right, they introduced this S4 HANA, which stands for Suite for Business. So these are nothing but these are different SAP products which they have released over time. The latest one is S4 HANA, and the next one is ABAP. Again, this stands for Advanced Business Application Programming. So this is very commonly used. This is nothing but the programming language. This is a proprietary programming language using which they have built the SAP application. So in project we call the people who are experienced in this language, right, the developers, we call it as ABAPers, or the ABAP team, right? So this is very commonly used, and remember it stands for Advanced Business Application Programming, ABAP. Then comes the basis. Basis is like a technical foundation, right? Like, you know, before it used to mean different, like it's like the platform on which the SAP was built. Now in the latest world, right, so the basis often refers to the team that takes care of the administrative job, right? Like not configuration, allocation, resourcing, all those stuffs, right? The basis team will take care of it, including the performance optimization. Even though performance test engineers identify the problem, right, the changes are done by the basis administrators. So that's basis. I don't think there's a full form for that, so we call that team as basis team. Then we have the SAP GUI. That's nothing but the launchpad, graphical user interface. It's nothing but a thick client using which we talk with the SAP system. Then again we have SAP Fiori. SAP Fiori is a little bit advanced client version. Because with SAP GUI, one of the complexity that we had is like we have to remember all those T codes in order to go to a screen. We have to execute certain T codes, right? I'll talk about the T codes soon. So they have to execute certain commands to go to that screen and do the work. As the SAP was evolving, right, they came up with this Fiori. Fiori is nothing but a web interface which has all the styles, sales order creation, for easy understandable and for the better user experience, right? They build this SAP Fiori. Whatever we do in T code, if a tile is built for that, we can use that tile to do the same thing. Okay, next comes the T code. T code is again another very commonly used terminology. It stands for transactional code. So T codes are nothing but these are like commands using which for example printf, we have, it's a command, right? Like if we do printf, it prints whatever we are asking for, right? Similarly, so these transactional T codes are commands using which we can execute a feature or a functionality. For example, I want to create a sales order. We have a T code called VA01. If you give that, it will open that form. You have to input the details, submit, all those stuffs will happen. So T code is like a transactional code using which a specific function or an application or a business flow is executed. Then within T code we have two types of T code. One is the standard T code and the custom T code. Standard T code are nothing but the T codes that are pre-delivered by the SAP. SAP, I said, like as a product they have the standard feature and functionality which the business can use, but because the business wants to do certain things different from the standard process, right, they go for the custom T code. So that's again not advanced, like that carries the customization. For example, it's like a wrapper. We have the standard T code on top of that, or sometimes it could be a brand new program. So usually the difference, how you can identify whether it's a standard T code or custom T code, right? Custom T code always starts with C, whereas standard T codes, it starts with P or several S or whatever letters, right, but not Z. If you see a Z at the start of the T code, right, it's a custom T code, which means it's not a standard program that came from SAP. It's a custom developed within your organization. And whenever there is a performance issue or problem with the standard T code, it's the responsibility of the SAP vendor team, the product team, to fix it. But if there is a problem in the custom T code, it's responsibility of our team to fix it. We can get help from SAP, but it's the responsibility wise, it's up to us to fix it, and we cannot tamper their standard T codes, because the moment we touch their standard T code, right, they will stop supporting that particular program, or if there is any issue, they are not going to support. So standard T code team cannot own for any fix or anything, right? Like you should always reach out to the SAP team. For custom T code, Z T code, yeah, you build that program, so you have the ability. If you want to fix something within that, you have the complete control. Next, the BAPI. BAPI is like an interfaces that is used for communicating with external system. Again, RFC, remote function call, that's another protocol using which SAP will talk to a remote system. Within a particular SAP system also it can talk, outside also it can talk. So RFC is like remote function call, and BAPI is like an interface, and within a BAPI the underlying component is a remote function call. BAPI uses the RFC calls. Okay, so it's intertwined. So next we have the NetWeaver, SAP NetWeaver. NetWeaver is more like the technology platform or the runtime environment, right, on which the SAP application runs. So it's think of it like an operating system. Then we have the batch jobs. We have a separate session dedicated for batch job. So these are scheduled task. It's a set of tasks that runs at a certain time or duration, defined duration. These are scheduled jobs. So we'll talk about in the coming sessions. Next comes the work process. Work process, I think this is another common terminology you will hear. So unlike for a Java application, right, you have the threads, correct? So similarly in SAP application, so they call it as work process. Each application server will have like certain number of work process defined, and whenever this is very important for performance system. Whenever there is a contention on the worker process, right, when all the worker process have been utilized or maxed out, it might throw connection errors. So I think we'll talk about it. So if you under work process, right, like there are different types of work process: dialog work process, background process, update process, enqueue, spool, right? So there are different kind of work process. I think while talking about in the coming session, we'll be talking in detail about this. Then we have the modules. I think I kind of high level I covered this in the SAP intro. So SD, FI, CO, FICO, and WMS, right? These are another common terminologies you hear. SD, sales and distribution; FI, finance; CO, controlling; warehouse management system. I mean, these are some examples, but there are so many other modules as well. PP, production planning, right? So there are so many different modules, and you will hear this a lot, and we'll talk about this as well in the coming session. Then we have the HANA database, HANA DB. So this is another common terminology that's commonly used. So this is nothing but the proprietary database that SAP uses, right? Before they used to run on Oracle, and with the S4 they introduced this HANA database, which is like an in-memory database. We'll talk more about it. So this is one of the advanced capability of the S4 HANA, the database. It's HANA database. Next we have transport request. Transport request is nothing but whenever they want to move change, whether it's configuration or the new objects that they have built or new feature, right? So all those changes are wrapped under the TR. They call it as the transport request. So this is part of the change management process. So they call it as TR1, 2, 3 and all, right? So it's like what are the changes that are moving into the SAP system. They call it by the terminology called TR, transport request. RevTrack is another, recently most people are using this for the deployment. So this is more like Jenkins, right? Like it's a third-party component that sits on top of the SAP, and whenever they want to deploy a TR, right, like they use RevTrack to deploy it on different environments, like whether test environment or performance environment or QA or production, right? They use RevTrack to deploy those RevTrack changes. They call it as RevTrack 1, 2, 3. They maintain like that. Then we have the scheduler. Scheduler is nothing but like the batch jobs. So these are run through schedulers as well. Again, we'll talk about this as well in detail in the coming session. So these are some of the terminologies that was on top of my mind, which is very commonly used, but in the coming sessions we will discuss more. So the key takeaway here is just try to remember this. You don't know how to know the details at this point of time. At least try to memorize these terminologies, so that whenever someone talks about this in any meeting, right, you know what they are referring. Thank you.